So, let's talk about how a simple, everyday frustration, something many of us have probably felt, can spark a company that's now aiming to build an entire global financial universe for millions. This isn't just a story about sending money from point A to point B. Oh no, it's about Remitly's huge ambition to become so much more. And it all started with this guy, CEO Matt Oppenheimer. Picture this. He's working in Kenya, and he's living what he calls the nightmare of cross-border finance. He's getting paid in pounds, but he needs shillings to live day to day, and he wants to send dollars back home. It was slow, it was confusing, and man, was it expensive. That very personal, very real frustration, that was the spark for the whole company. And that really brings up the big question, doesn't it? I mean, it's one thing to have a great idea born from a problem you've faced yourself, but how do you actually turn that into a global solution? How do you build a system that can handle the hopes, dreams, and hard-earned cash of millions of people all over the world? Okay, so to really get where Remitly is headed, we've got to go back to the beginning. We need to look at how they started, because their initial strategy was deceptively simple and, honestly, kind of genius. It all came down to this mantra: bold vision, intense focus. The vision was massive. Think financial services that transcend borders. But the focus? It was laser sharp. You know, this is a page right out of the playbook of one of their early investors, Jeff Bezos. He had a vision for an everything store. But how did he start Amazon? By selling books, just books. Well, Remitly took that exact same approach. And when I say focus, I mean focus. Just look at this timeline. For the first 2 years, 2 entire years, they did one thing and one thing only: sending money from the US to the Philippines. That's it. It took them another 2 years to add India, and then another year for Mexico. I mean, think about that patience. 4 years in, and they're only serving 3 routes. But what this allowed them to do was perfect the process, build incredible trust, and solve all the really hard problems before they even thought about scaling up. All right, so they spent years building that super solid foundation. And now we get to see the payoff. And let me tell you, that slow, deliberate start has become the launch pad for some truly explosive growth. First up, let's just talk about the people using it. We're talking 9 million active users every single quarter. That's up 5 times since just 2020. That is incredible growth. And what are those 9 million people doing? Well, they're sending money. A lot of money. The amount flowing through their platform has just skyrocketed to an annualized send volume of $70 billion. That's a 6-fold increase. And of course, all of that activity translates into serious revenue. A 7-fold increase, now crossing that huge $1 billion milestone. You've got this trifecta, right? Users, volume, revenue, all just exploding upwards. It's absolute proof that their slow and steady start really paid off. So what's the secret sauce here? How did they pull this off? Well, it really boils down to 3 core strengths. First, and this is the big one, trust. When you're sending your hard-earned money to family an ocean away, reliability is absolutely everything. Second, their network. They've spent a decade building this incredible proprietary system that now covers over 5,300 different routes. And third, scale. It's that classic flywheel effect. The more people use it, the lower the costs get, and the better the service becomes for everyone. And you don't just have to take my word on that trust thing. Listen to what actual customers, like Breeza here, are saying. Notice what she focuses on. She's not just talking about price. She's talking about how it's fast, easy, and reliable. She loves the flexibility. Because for her, and for millions of others, this is so much more than a transaction. It's a lifeline. Okay, so that bedrock of trust they've built, that's the launch pad for what comes next. And this, my friends, is where the story gets really exciting. They're making a leap from just being a payments company to building out a complete financial universe for their customers. So how are they going to do it? This matrix lays out their 2-pronged attack perfectly. Think of it as a 2-way expansion. Horizontally, across the top, you see them going after new types of customers. Not just the folks sending a little bit of money, but high-amount senders, businesses, and even the people on the receiving end. And then vertically down the side, they're stacking brand new products on top. Things like credit, a digital wallet and card, and even a premium membership. But this expansion isn't just about adding more products for more people. The real game changer here is the technology they're using to supercharge the whole platform. Just take a look at customer support. They're using something they call agentic AI. Now, that's a fancy term, but basically, just think of it as a really smart AI that can actually do things, not just chat. And get this AI is already resolving a third of all customer chats. It's doing it 4 times faster than a human, and customers are just as happy, if not happier. The bottom line here is just incredible. A 40% reduction in customer service costs. They're also getting smart with stablecoins. You hear this buzzword all the time, but Remitly is actually using them in some very practical ways. First, for their own treasury, it means they can settle payments around the globe 24/7 instantly. Second, for their network, it gives customers another option for how they want to receive their money. And third, and this one is huge, for their digital wallet, it lets people in over 80 countries save in a stable currency, protecting them from a lot of local inflation. So, with all this new technology and this massive expansion plan, where is all this heading? What's the end game? Well, it's all driving toward one very clear and very, very ambitious financial target. And here it is. This chart shows the sheer scale of that ambition. They're aiming to nearly double their revenue to $3 billion by 2028. This isn't just about growing. This is about fundamentally transforming the scope of their entire business. So when you put it all together, what are we really looking at here? It leaves you with this one final fascinating question. Is Remitly just becoming a better, faster way to send money home? Or, by leveraging that deep, deep foundation of trust they've built over a decade, are they actually building the world's first truly global bank for a world on the move?